guess what's the state of the ankle?
Not great. It's high ankle sprain. Pretty good one. So didn't feel good this morning when I woke up to go to the bathroom, but I got a lot of time now, so I'll be able to get it right, fix my body and be ready to roll when the time comes.
Joe, I know it's still less than 24 hours since the game ended. How are you processing this? What are your takeaways from the season?
Yeah, it was a tough way to finish. I give all the credit to Houston. They came out and played great and did a good job against us, but we didn't want to end that way. And honestly, we thought we were, coming in half, like, defense going to stop, we get the ball back, we go score, and, the pick six happened twice, and then he went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. So, like, in a kind of a 6-minute span, kind of game got out of reach for us there. But obviously the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl, but I don't think it diminishes what these guys did, being resilient this year, coming together. I think the culture of this team and where we're at as a group of men that just like being around each other and want to win for the city of Cleveland. Like, it's never been higher since I've been here. So I think that the future of that is something to look forward to.
Joe, how difficult is that to replicate, though? Because, there are going to be new faces in here. It's not going to be the same group next year. How do you try to at least replicate that if possible?
Yeah, I think you keep the structure here, obviously, Andrew Berry, Coach Stefanski. And I think the main core of guys is going to be back. And I think those guys carry on the culture. But I think we learned, what it takes to be resilient. And obviously, like you said, each year is different. But I think the main core is going to be back, and the main core can carry that over and be like, hey, this is what we went through. Like, hopefully we don't have to go through anything like that again, but this is what we went through last year. We had 11 wins. We made the playoffs. And hopefully that's our floor now is, a playoff team that has a chance to win a division and host a playoff game, in the future.
Joel, for you individually, this year, I know you're always banged up as an offensive lineman, but the knee, the back, the ankle now, was there any frustration for you with the injuries this year and just having to deal with all that?
Yeah, it was honestly very frustrating for me this year. I came into the year and I felt great. I was like, I'm not feeling old. Year 10, best year yet. And, from the jump, my knee just wasn't there. And obviously I had to get the surgery. Coming back from that, it didn't allow me to train, practice the way I wanted to. And I think that kind of just snowballs into the back, the oblique, the ankle. The ankle's freak I got rolled up on, but all those other things kind of add together, and it's something you don't want. You don't want injuries. You don't want to be there. And I have high standards for myself, you know what I mean? And I want to live up to those standards. I want it for my teammates, for the coaching staff, and things like that. And being hurt this year definitely took its toll.
Joe, you know how many coaches have come through here over the years. You played for a lot of them too yourself. What can you say about the job that Kevin did, and how do you feel like this regime is going to be going forward, and the stability it seems like you guys now have there?
Yeah, I think Coach Stefanski's built a culture here. It's a resilient. We talk about smart, tough, accountable, resilient team. He probably says that every day, and that's something we focus on. And I think he's built that, and I think Andrew Berry's built that with the guys he's brought in, the people he's brought in. Revamping the D-line this year with the guys that he brought in, I think tremendously changed the culture on that side of the ball and for the team. But I do think we've built something, and like I said, I hope it's the start of, hey, this is what we do. This is a minimum. You go to the playoffs every year, and hopefully there's more to come from that.
Joe, after 10 years and dealing with all the stuff you dealt with this year, you plan to come back next year?
Yeah. I want to play, and I want to show I can still play at a very elite level, honestly to myself and to my teammates, hey, I still feel like I played well this year, but I think there's always more, and you always want to push yourself to be at the top of your game, and I still feel good. I'm gonna use this offseason to get my body right, but I plan to be back.
How much do you think everything affected your play? Right, all those injuries, dealing with
yeah,
everything. Still high level, but
the hardest part for me was just not being able to train lift, like with the knee injury, it's almost like you're taking a month off from lifting. You come back and it's like, oh, it feels pretty good, but then you go into a game and it's like, dang, I got to take this week off to get back to the game. So I think it was just like the little things, and then that adds to towards the end of the season, your back, your oblique, like all those things where it's like, oh, maybe if I would have been able to lift more earlier in the year or practice more, those things add up. So it definitely affected it. And like you said, you want to be out there with your teammates. I wanted to be out there yesterday. It would have been a lot cooler if we would have won the game, but I wanted to be out there with the guys and compete with them.
So I thought you got snubbed for the first team All-Pro this year after making it the previous 2 years. Were you a little disappointed to not be on there this year?
Yeah, I think it's, for O-linemen, it's kind of like we don't really get too many stats. So it's one of the cool things. I think there's Thuney is a great left guard in this league, and he's been for, 8 or 9 years, however long he's played. Tyler Smith is a young up-and-coming player who's great. Quinn Nelson, there's a lot of good left guards. So, I was hurt this year. I played 15 games, you know what I mean? I thought we did a good job as an O-line with all the stuff that happened around us. But there's a lot of good left guards in this league. So, if anything, it just drives us, We'll have to try and get it back next year.
Are you surprised? It seemed like the Texans attacked you guys differently defensively yesterday from that first game. Did that caught you guys off guard a little bit?
I can't speak to the coverages, that we face because I'm not really dealing with that. I thought their front was pretty similar. Maybe they blitzed a little bit more than they did in the first game. I think he just made bigger plays and bigger moments. Those pick sixes were very tough for us to recover from, but they did a great job. They kicked our butt yesterday pretty good, and it kind of sucks in the season on that note.
Hey, Joel, overcoming injuries was a theme for you guys this season. I know you guys did a great job with that, but with so many key guys that you lost, how much hope do you put in getting those guys back?
Yeah, I was watching when we were about to play Cincinnati, I was watching the first Cincinnati game, and we were pretty healthy at that point in the season, and I was like, Nick Chubb's pretty dang good at football. You saw some of the runs he did. Deshaun was making plays with his legs. Jack and Jed were healthy, and I was like, this is a whole different team. I was watching from week 1 to week 18, and to see those guys already putting in the work this season, in the training room and what they've done, it inspires me because I know those guys are coming back. And I told Nick, I was like, I want to be out there blocking for you again because I miss you and I appreciate everything he's doing to try and get back on the field.
So when you look at the O-line as a whole, and just obviously the injury you dealt with, what just most impressed you about what you guys did as a group this year?
Yeah, we had a lot of different guys have to step up for us. I think Coach Callahan, Coach Peters, John DeCoster, all did a great job of getting guys ready to play. We thought we had a strong starting five that was coming back, and then obviously from day one injuries, hurt us. I think DeJuan stepped up and showed that he can be a starting tackle in this league as well. And then Dunny, like always, came in ready when he needed to. Nick Harris, and then obviously it kept moving down to James and G, and all these guys had to step in and make plays for us. But to do that and to still win 11 games and help protect, all 4 or 5 quarterbacks that we had this year, I think it's a testament to the guys. They put in the work in practice and training camp to be ready to go when they have a chance.
What do you feel like the outlook is with Deshaun as your starting quarterback coming back next year?
I think it's good. He was another one that every time it felt like we were taking a step, he got banged up or hurt. We beat Baltimore at Baltimore with Deshaun. They have a chance. They're still playing. They're playing next week in the division game. The Titans game, the Cardinals game. I'm pretty sure he was 4-1, as a starter this year. With our defense, if they played at the level we know and expect them to play to, I feel very confident with Deshaun coming back and being our quarterback.
What happened to your finger?
Oh, I just a couple weeks ago it got messed up. So I'm trying to make it so it doesn't get stuck like that. So I just wear this thing.
Joe, we talked all year about the camaraderie and the morale that this team has been able to encase. I know it's probably a little early to say, but how do you see those bonds that you guys built throughout this year translating through the off season as you guys try to bounce back from this one?
Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, when you can be together, I just look at David, and I know everybody's talking about David, but like when he first came in, he was like a 20-year-old kid from Miami, and you're like, oh man, does this guy want to be here and stuff? And now he's been here probably 6 or 7 years now, you know, and it's like grown into like one of my favorite guys to be around. You know what I mean? So like you just build these bonds, and I think winning helps everything. You know, you talk about a culture and stuff, and it's like the winning obviously helps that stuff, but you know, there's going to be guys that are here that are working, they're pushing each other, and you know, pretty much anywhere you go in the country, you have someone that you played with that's going to let you stay at their house or go get a meal with.
Joel, you've been here 10 years, one of the senior members of this team. I'm sure you have a ton of memories just from previous seasons. What would be maybe the lasting memory, the thing that stands out the most about the 2023 season to you?
I mean, the resilience, if you're talking about like a specific moment, I think the last drive against the Ravens when we drove down and won the game, and that kind of we pushed the pile, you know, as a group on offense. We always talk about being connected. I think that was an awesome moment for our team, and I think that was a step where we said like, hey, we can play with anybody. You know, we have the right guys in here, but lots of memories. You know, Flacco being here and the magic he had was something I'll never forget either. So it was a great year. Ended on a very sour note for us, but you know, I'm pumped to be here and hopefully continue the winning ways.
Joel, you've talked about, you mentioned earlier that you think this could be the floor. Is this the most optimistic you felt coming out of the season?
Yeah. You know, in 2020 when we made the playoffs, it was the first time I made the playoffs, so I wasn't quite sure, but I was confident that we could get back, and then obviously I kind of fell apart a little bit there, but I think we have the right guys in here, the right culture right now. The camaraderie with the room is good, so I am confident in this group and their ability to get back to the level we want to next year.
You mentioned Flacco. Could you envision Joe coming back? Would you like to see him come back?
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, you know what I mean? I know Joe, he's getting older, you know, he's 5 kids now, but I'm sure we'd welcome him back with open arms. He's a great locker room guy. We enjoyed having him here, and he's someone that, you know, you have those guys on the roster that are those kind of glue guys, and I think he'd be one of those guys if he did come back.
How do you replicate what you had this year as a team, and how do you carry that over?
Yeah, you just keep bringing in the right guys. You know, it sucks because in the NFL you're probably going to have like a 20 guy turnaround, you know, no matter what you do. But you want to bring in the right guys. You want to, you know, focus on some of those intangibles. But I think the core is here. And when you start from the top down, ownership to Andrew Berry to Coach Stefanski to the coaches to the players, like everybody's connected right now and everybody has that same vision. I think that helps out the most.
Sort of step back and try to assess what you guys, the journey you guys went through over the last 4, 6 months, however many months it is.
Yeah, it's definitely had a great season, regular season, and could definitely find a lot good to come out of that. And so just definitely a lot to be thankful for and grateful for. The guys played with this season, the coaches, and what we were able to accomplish during the regular season.
Denzel, how do you set aside the bitter taste of what happened yesterday and balance that with recognizing what you guys collectively were able to accomplish in spite of all the adversity that you faced and all the teammates that you lost?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but like I said, we definitely had a great season, so definitely don't want to look past that and all that we were able to accomplish. We weren't able to execute on our goals in the postseason and make it as far as we would have liked, but like I said, definitely a lot to be thankful for, and guys did a heck of a job during the regular season.
Denzel, where do you guys go from here?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the off season, so now just gotta go away, recalibrate, get our bodies back right, get ready to come back and be better for this next season.
What gives you optimism that you guys can make the playoffs again and then, make some kind of run once you get there?
I mean, we got a special team. I mean, we did a lot with a lot of guys being hurt, a lot of guys being out, and making it as far as we did. I mean, we were pushing through adversity all season, all year, and I said we weren't able to execute on our goals in the postseason that we wanted to, but we got a lot of hope for the future and what we're capable of, and guys we're going to be getting back.
This defense was dominant when you guys were at home.
Mm-hmm.
It was good on the road, but there was a clear split when you guys were on the road. What do you make of that? How can you resolve it? How can you be the same defense no matter where you play?
Yeah, we just got like I said, just get away for the off season and just get better throughout the off season. We'll get back with the team, find a way to recalibrate, rejuice up, and find a way to be better on the road as well, and take the home field advantage mentality to away teams as well.
And so every year is its own individual story here. You guys were such a close-knit team in this locker room. It's probably one of the closest I've ever seen. How do you replicate that next year? How do you carry the culture that you had this year going forward?
Yeah, I think we did a good job of setting that foundation. And like I said, we're a very close-knit group and very tight. So, I mean, we're still going to be hanging out and being with each other during the off-season and working out together and training and everything. So just once we get back, I think still having that foundation and setting that routine and being with one another and just working towards that goal of getting to the postseason and making a difference.
Do you think it's possible for Flacco and Watson to work together?
Definitely. I definitely think so. I mean, I definitely enjoy both of those guys on the team. They're both highly capable of winning games for us and just being a difference on this team for us.
And so when you look at the corners of the group, how do you assess how you guys played this season?
You said the corners?
Yeah. And just as a unit, what you guys were able to do.
Yeah, I think we're a special group of corners. I mean, we had a great season. I feel we finished number one, but I think the biggest thing, I mean, we wanted to be number one in the postseason, and I mean, we weren't able to get the win yesterday, but just focusing on the regular season, I think we did a great job in helping our team get wins and locking our guys down all season. That's a big credit to MJ and Greg and Cam, all those guys. They did a great job playing this year, played hard for us, and helped us get wins and get to the playoffs.
The camaraderie aspect, not only as a team, but you guys specifically as a unit, how important was that throughout the season?
And that was huge. I think that was a big part of why we made it as far as we did, just how close we were and able to push forward with one another. We're playing for one another. And so I think that's going to be big once we get back and being able to build upon the foundation that we already set.
Denzel, I'm sure you probably already answered this, but yesterday, what do you think happened in the first half? You guys didn't look like the number one.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, I still got to go back and watch the film, but yeah, I don't think that we showed up and played our best ball yesterday. So, I mean, it's a big credit to the guys on the other side of Houston. They played a great game, did a good job in getting the victory over us. They won that game and was able to move on. So we got to find a way to come back and be better and see how we could advance next time in the playoffs.
Do you think that kind of experience was needed for you or some of the other Montana players on this team who lack experience?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. I mean, I think it was a great opportunity to have that experience for a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that haven't been in the playoffs yet, and just see what the atmosphere was like and everything. So moving on for the future, just to know what to expect and be better next time.
How do you move on from this after having such a special season to lose like that? Probably hurt like crazy.
Yeah,
how do you kind of move on?
It's tough. I'm still trying to figure out how to move on from it. I mean, like I said, we definitely didn't want to be at this point. Wanted to move ahead in the playoffs, and but don't want to discredit what we're able to do during the regular season. Guys did a great job, but just got to find a way to be better next season and find a way to be able to advance.
So as you look back on the season and how good the defense was, just can you put in perspective just the impact that Jim Schwartz had really from start to finish, just changing the defense? It seemed like you guys were playing with a lot more confidence and just more free, and you were able to kind of do some good things. So just put in perspective, I guess, his impact on the defense, but also on you guys' success this year.
Yeah, impact is huge. I mean, like I say all the time, I can't say enough great things about Coach Schwartz. He's done a lot. Just he helped build the camaraderie on this team and help us grow, changed our defense and to being the number one defense in the NFL. So, I mean, he's a great coach, and he's done a lot for us, done a lot for myself, and what we were able to do this year. So, looking forward to continue to work with him, and he's a great coach.
And so did he, like, while the game's gone on or even after the game, like, what was Jim trying to say to you guys when stuff wasn't going right? You know, like, was he able to point out why it wasn't working like it had been working?
I mean, the main focus was we just got to be ourselves. We got to be ourselves, go out there and play. And like I said, I don't feel that we showed up yesterday. We didn't show up yesterday and capitalize on what we were supposed to do. and we didn't execute. So like I said, we got to go back, watch the film, and see how we could be better and avoid that for the next time we're in the playoffs.
Were you limited by, you got banged up right before the game there, that last practice? I mean, were you affected yesterday by that at all?
No, I was good. If I'm out there, I'm good. So I was fine. Focus was just on trying to be the best I can for my team and help them out as best as I can. And I was good. Yeah, I was all right.
Denzel, you have an event coming up in February, your foundation. Why is it so important for you to do this fitness health expo, and it also involves health? Could you explain why is it so important for you to do an event like this? Because I know I went to the one last year, but you're having this annually. Why is it so important for you to do this?
Yeah, it's a heart health. So I have a heart health foundation, and just being in the city of Cleveland, being from Cleveland, I just like to do events with my family and foundation, just to build awareness for heart health and just find fun ways to do that. And so it's an event where people come out, work out, have fun. There'll be stations set up where you can learn about how to do CPR and using AED kits and things like that. So it's just a fun way to kind of build heart health awareness and just something fun for the city.
If you could have done it over again, should guys have played that last game, did it have any impact at all on stunting the momentum of the season?
Say that one more time.
Playing the last game in Cincinnati. If you had to do it over again, should guys have played?
No, I don't think so. I mean, all our focus was on the playoffs. I don't think guys necessarily needed to play that didn't have to play. I don't think it had any effect on our next game. I feel we were prepared going into this Houston game, but Houston, they were the better team yesterday, and they found a way to beat us, and we just got to come back better.
Denzel, when you look at C.J. Stroud, do you think that as you move forward and you look at the next several years, he's going to be one of those top amazing quarterbacks in the NFL that you guys are going to try to find a way to get past in the playoffs down the road?
Yeah, no question. C.J., he's a phenomenal quarterback, phenomenal player. If he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league, he's been showing that since already as a rookie. So congrats to him on getting the victory and moving on in the playoffs. But yeah, he's definitely going to be a problem in the future and a guy that is going to be tough to play against.
I didn't get a chance to catch up with you last night after the game. So, what was your thought on how you guys did as a secondary specifically?
I didn't think we played our best game. I didn't think we played our worst game, but we didn't play good enough to win the game. So it's just a disappointing loss. From everything we've been through this season to end that way is frustrating.
How do you think you played personally?
I didn't think I played too bad. Could have played better. Obviously, there's always things to fix, but I don't think I played bad.
In terms of CJ, do you feel like you guys just faced in the playoffs one of the young quarterbacks that's going to be up and coming in this league that you're going to have to contend with over the next, how many ever years?
Oh, for sure, yeah. We'll get a chance to definitely see him again in the postseason. He's unbelievable. What he was able to do with that franchise and just turn them completely around and get to the second round of the playoffs as a rookie is unbelievable. So he's definitely someone that we're definitely going to see later on.
Greg, how do you reconcile the bitterness from the loss yesterday with what you were able to accomplish as a team in spite of all the teammates you lost and all the adversity you faced?
Yeah, right now it's hard to really focus on the good things right now, just because we had goals of getting further. So right now it's obviously we accomplished a lot as a team, but we fell short of our goal. So I think we did a good job with guys going down and people stepping up and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be that one team with the trophy at the end.
Greg, do you feel like? Go ahead, Ash. I was just gonna say, knowing that and the high expectations you guys have for yourself, does this defense feel like there's unfinished business, I guess, coming out of this season then?
Oh, for sure. You always got to learn from things like this. We're definitely going to come into next season with another chip on our shoulder. And I think we did a good job this season, but we didn't show up in the biggest game. So I think we're going to learn from this moment, and it's only going to help us in the future.
I know we talked about this a lot during the year, but how do you account for how dominant you were at home and the struggles on the road?
Yeah, I think it's just finding our own energy. I feel like that's the biggest thing. It's an energy thing. So just find ways to build our own energy, create our own energy, and just stay in the moment. I think that's the biggest thing. It's easy at home when the crowd's on your side. When you go on the road, it's only the men that you travel with and the people that come with you. So I think it's just finding our own energy on the road.
Was yesterday more about what they were doing schematically against you guys, or more about you guys just not playing your best? And how do you now correct that? Maybe some things that they put on tape that could become issues for you guys. How do you correct that going into next season?
Yeah, I think it's definitely on us. I feel like a lot of the plays, if you really watch the game, a lot of it was eye control, a lot of stuff like that. It wasn't really, their scheme just out-schemed us or just beat us. I just feel like we didn't hone in on the little details, and that's what we've been focusing on the whole time. When you get to the playoffs, the margin for, error is even slimmer than the regular season. You could lose a game and go to the next game and continue to build. But in the playoffs, you don't have the opportunity to play a bad game or have a bad snap. So I think it was definitely things that we can correct.
Greg, this locker room was so close knit together, which is rare in pro sports, considering how transient things can be. But how do you carry that culture forward now?
I think when you lay a great structure, I think it's easy to continue that culture. The core guys will always be the core guys pretty much on the team. Obviously there'll be new faces. No team ever stays the same, but I feel like those core guys were able to make a good locker room. So I think it'll be easy to just incorporate people and just teach them our ways. And I feel like it won't be hard when you build something so strong that we've built. I feel like it'll be hard to tear down.
Greg, we talked so much about your role coming into this year. Was it a lot different than it was last year, and how do you think you kind of fit with what Coach Schwartz was trying to do?
Was it a lot different? I would say so, just because we played a lot more man. So that's my comfort zone. I think Coach Schwartz did an unbelievable job in just putting me in positions to succeed, just getting around the football a lot more this season, opportunities to play outside, opportunities to play inside, opportunities to blitz, to get in the run fit. So I think, I think Coach Schwartz is an unbelievable coach. I think he's the best defensive coordinator to just cater to the guys' talents. And I feel like he did a great job with me this season.
Felt less of a linebacker?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a man 95% of the time, so I felt great.
Do you guys feel like you're going to really have to pick up your game even more next season? Because when you look at the lineup of quarterbacks, it's going to be a really, really tough lineup. Joe Burrow's probably going to be healthy this year. You guys didn't have to face him at all this year. So I guess what I'm saying is you guys really are going to have to dig deep and find something extra, right?
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to us. No matter what quarterback, no matter if we're playing Tom Brady or Joe Montana, at the end of the day, as long as we focus on our craft and continue to grow as a segment, as a unit, and as a team, I feel like we'll be able to accomplish whatever. We like challenges like that. You see the schedule come out and see the quarterbacks that we're going to have to face. And, I think we got the Cowboys. We got a lot of, great quarterbacks. But, that's where legends are made is in big moments like that. So we definitely don't shy away from the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it is painful a bit, when you put in so much work and so much is at stake. So many people involved, the organization, the city, the team, us as individuals and the way that we've worked. So it definitely is painful, but again, you have to, take an evaluation, take an audit of what the season has made and what that game has made and learn from those mistakes.
Did they take
learn from those things.
Did they take advantage of your all's aggressiveness and pursuit on some of those touchdowns, like the fake pitch back the other way, the touchdown dump off to the tight end?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they necessarily took advantage of the aggressiveness that we have. For me, I do believe that it was more so just making our responsibilities and being specific with those things that we're supposed to do. I gave up one when I didn't look up the tight end, or you have some people that may have made some mistakes in the back end, right? I think that it comes down to just doing our responsibility and just being patient with our jobs and make sure that we fulfill those.
So the 76-yard touchdown, you were supposed to stick with the tight end on that
well, yeah, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, but I think we all have to own those mistakes and the things that we do to make sure the defense just, does our job.
You had a terrific season. You're going to be extension eligible. What are your thoughts about remaining a key piece of this young core going forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I love Cleveland. I'm not a super party guy, so Cleveland is just a spot for me. But nevertheless, I mean, I think a lot of the things come down to what the front office wants to do. Of course, I'm in my third year, so I'm not sure how much leverage I do have at this point. But I'll just be looking to see what the front office thinks, and then try to get whatever it is.
Aside from that tight end touchdown, Jacob Hunter seemed to be all over the field yesterday. Seemed to be the only one to show up. Did you feel you were having a good game? Could you take satisfaction at all in places?
It's hard to. I would say that it's hard to when this whole year it's been us. It's been us against the other teams. It's been us against the world. It's been us against the league. It's hard to take an individual, praise, and it's very hard to. For me, I go back and look at that, which I should have did better. I apologize to the coaches after. I apologize to the teammates after, just because I think I could have did more myself. So again, I think it comes back to that and just being accountable and saying, hey, look, no matter what we did individually as a team, we came into this other team, we leave out as a team. So.
The TFLs were, it just seemed like you were playing so fast. Were you anticipating? Did you know what was coming, or did you use your speed to do that? How were you getting on the TFL?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things. First and foremost, you put it in a scheme that allows a player to get vertical. You have the players in front. I know the defensive line didn't necessarily get any sacks or anything, but if you look, they did keep those double teams pretty well for us to get vertical. So I give credit to them, and I mean, Coach Tarver did a great job preparing us as linebackers to be able to do those things, specifically in those positions that I was in. So. It's credits to the coaches, my teammates, but also a lot of the stuff that they keyed in on, and some of the patience things that you can see from the positions that I was in.
The theme in the locker room last night was we picked a bad day to have a bad day, pretty much. And the coach started that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Some players did. I mean, upon further reflection, do you know where that bad day originated from at all?
Well, I think the bad day really originates from the nature of football. Sometimes, you don't have the necessarily those days that you might, and sometimes you may come out still on top. But for us, that was one of the bad days that we didn't come out on top. So I think that, again, it originates with the nature of football. Some days you have great days, some days you don't. Some days you execute, some days you don't. The battle is to see how much you can stay consistent with that. And overcoming that. So.
And looking back, was any momentum lost by not playing in Cincinnati?
I know I saw a lot of comments. I usually don't look at the Twitter stuff, but I was on a little Safari thing and I saw like a notification popped up and it was talking about the Cincinnati stuff. I don't think so, man. I think that Coach made a great decision allowing us to rest a bit. A lot of players came out healthy, some didn't, but I think that Coach did a great job and a great decision on resting us.
Specifically, Jeremiah, what happened on that the long pass to the tight end? Where was the breakdown?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of things. Whether it was my eyes, we got to execute on the tackling part. So I mean, I think I'll be the first to take the credit on my side to say, hey, look, I should have did better on that play, and I should have kept my eyes on that man and followed him. So.
Jeremiah, it's been a long time since there's been such a positive culture here. You guys have established a brotherhood. How do you sustain that when you have so much turnover in an NFL locker room?
Man, I was thinking about that yesterday too. Just trying to reflect more on, sometimes a loss like that can deprive the entire season. I was trying not to let that get a hold of me, even though I probably went to sleep at like 4 a.m. Just still thinking about it. And at the end of the day, I think that. Culture originates with intentionality, and since the off season we had that intentionality, and that and to be honest, it's not just the intentionality. It's about the organization of it too, like putting guys in the right position, making sure that the personnel's right, making sure that we have guys to be the anchor, but also to do, be the roles. It's so much to a football organization that creates culture. But all in all, I think that we were very intentional and we organized well. So.
How do you transition that now into the off season and keep that culture and that sort of mentality you guys have had together going, even though you're not going to be around each other as much and every day like you have been?
Yeah, I think when culture is instilled, it allows you to continue to be a certain way. I think culture is actually what sustains, the society as we see it itself, right? Once the culture is established, people act a certain way, they live by a certain moral code, a certain standard, and are able to continue to be in that same mindset. And I think overall, even though we are on off season, the culture still lives within us, because all in all, where is the culture? The culture is not out there, right? The culture is inside of all of us as individuals and as players.
How do you think this defense takes the next step? What is going to be the key?
Yeah, the next step is just one. The next step is the best step, right? The next step concerns fixing those mistakes, right? Fixing the things that we did wrong. And at the end of the day, that's why we are a team, right? I think a team has love for every individual that's within that team, and to correct those mistakes, we have to take an audit. Whether it's some of the man things we did wrong, some of the zone things we did wrong, some of the preparation things we may have did wrong, right? I think that's the next step, is just making sure that we get those things off our resume, as Coach Schwartz would say.
Do you think there's anything to, the lights being brighter, anything like that, or do you think that, was it related to the performance yesterday at all? Collectively?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it. Football is still football. A game is still a game. But at the end of the day, like the playoffs, it does require a certain amount of intensity. I don't think that it was the lights that shocked us or did not. We have a lot of play. Look who was our starting quarterback, right? He's been there, done that a bunch of times. We've had guys on the defense that have been in the playoffs before, guys that won the Super Bowls already. We had, Juan, Obo. I don't think it was the lights. I just think it was a matter of execution.
Can you put in or encapsulate and sort of put in perspective just the impact that Jim Schwartz had this year? Obviously, last year's defense had a lot of issues, and he seemed to erase a lot of that, other than maybe yesterday in a few moments where things came out. But just the impact he's had on the whole group, but also you individually, because you obviously had a great season as well.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that contribute to a team's success. Coach Schwartz, obviously, on the defense side, is a huge part of that. And I think for him, we have things that are already understood. But for him, even those things that are understood, he makes relevant, right? Whether it's continuously, creating that repetition of, hey, the best players have to be the most hardworking players. Hey, our weakest link should be one of our strongest. So I think a lot of the things that he will repeat. Yeah, and then I know AWOC, of course, is a huge part of it. AWOC is a huge part, not only of the defense, but also of cutting off my interviews constantly this entire year. So at the end of the day, I think Coach Schwartz is an amazing leader, and he's able to, formulate his messages in a way that gets people going. And whether that, is in a practice, in a walkthrough, or in a game, I'm really grateful for that transpiring amongst our defense and within myself.